Unfortunately, it was just an emergency. I don't know what to tell you. I called Airbnb support, got on the phone, and they offered me a minimal discount and said, "Here's a couple other links. We might be able to help you." So anyway, my first experience overall wasn't very positive, unfortunately.
Did you head on a pillow anywhere that night?
I did. I ended up just calling a hotel down the street and just said, "Just let me." Please crash.
How 20th century is that?
I don't know. I was like, a hotel? Who does this anymore? Thank goodness they still have that archaic way of how to accommodate. So technology, the point of the story is, and that's part of one of our Tech Talk discussions, is Airbnb, these technology points aren't 100% foolproof yet. So, you know.
No, I know.
They're not perfect. Not perfect.
Therein lies the problem. I was mentioning just before you jumped into the studio here that a lot of stuff we're going to talk about here, because I love the way you bring new products in, but these almost have like a health and wellness theme to them. Some of the stuff we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, how many times have somebody said to you, Adam, you should get a thicker skin? Apparently, you can get that now.
A thicker skin that's not only going to make it thicker, it's going to actually read your heart rate immediately right on it. They've actually developed a technology that has LED diodes that monitors your heart rate and can show it right on the surface of your hand. While it's doing that, it will take that information and then share it with health nurses and
Apple Watch.
That is so yesterday.
Look at my hand.
It was like hotels.
It's like running right now. You don't have to check your watch to see what your pulse is.
That's right. You'll actually watch it
right there.
That's right. You'll be able to actually watch it in real time. Your heartbeat monitoring as it goes up and down on the outside of your hand. Now, of course, it's got to be where a pulse is, but it will, and it's a very, very thin layer of membrane, I'll call it. I'd say plastic, but it's an adhesive, and it seals over your hand, can go over your chest, and it's like a cardiogram. It literally will take the monitoring of your heartbeat. It will monitor your vitals versus immediately hooking it up to a machine, connecting it to a device, checking to see how it, now you can slap this on. Great for healthcare, especially when it comes to like those that are retired, have health conditions or otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be great because you'll be able to monitor them without them feeling like they're strapped to a machine, or, you know, there's diodes and plugs, all, you know, IVs, everything else. So this new technology is available. It came out in Japan, actually developed for the aging population. So they would be able to monitor their vitals without necessarily hooking them up to a machine all the time.
There's another product I want to talk to you about. Our family were all skiers, well, except for me, obviously. But this vest that's being developed, is really kind of neat.
You know what, skiers, if you watch the Olympics and how amazing they are, I mean, and anyone that you see ski, I mean, first and foremost, it's dangerous. You're moving at a pretty high velocity. You're going to be hitting a few moguls, jumps or otherwise. And as you sort of hit these moments and you fly through the air, there's that little bit of a, oops, I lost my balance, or that sensation of, I'm not going to land on two skis, or for this matter, a snowboard. There's actually a vest, and it's like a life vest. And the best part is, think of it as an airbag, similar to what we've seen on motorcycles or otherwise. This one's unique in the way that it actually will protect the skier or snowboarder in a way that it knows when you're about to fall. And so this is what's really cool about this new tech, is think about it as an airbag deploying before the accident. So right now,
you've seen some of the falls these guys have taken.
Man, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Imagine now this vest will be able to know, okay, they're about to hit a wall. It's time to inflate. So it monitors both reaction speed. There's a lot of elements involved with this. So that said, I can say that in the future it will be a lot safer for many people if they want to become a professional skier in the Olympics.
I mean, it's not like you have to inflate it. It does it on its own.
It automatically will know.
Arm's going down.
Yeah, it's going to realize you're not going to land. Therefore, we're inflating and enjoy the fall. We'll be back after your face is in the snow. So yeah, it's all hands on deck before you die, if you will. So yes.
All right, who doesn't have a speaker in their kitchen now? I mean, everybody's got these things, and Spotify is jumping in.
You know, it seems like everybody's on this bandwagon, and I'm going to say this. I think I've mentioned it before to you, Bill. First and foremost, folks, you do not need one of these. You do not. My uncle, I had a family event. We were all sitting around, and he says, "Yeah, I tried to order the Google Home," and I said, "What would you do with it?" because, you know, I mean, as much as my uncle's great, he's retired, he's very much in tune with technology, and I'm like, what would you do with it? Like, seriously. He goes, well, I could tell it to turn on music. I'm like, really? What would you do with this that your phone can't already do? I mean, we all know, if you're Bill, you and I both know you work with Siri. It's annoying. I use Google. I get annoyed with Google. I go to Bixby. Bixby doesn't even do it. They have yet to master this whole voice thing. However,
I don't understand. I mean, you know, this Amazon does this, Google's
yes,
this, Spotify's
that's right.
going to do this. But your point is well taken. The technology isn't perfect yet.
It's not. And in fact, they came out with a box with a voice that is an artificial intelligence responder that your phone can't even figure it out. And I assure you, you're going to be spending $100 on basically what your phone has to do the same result. Get annoyed. And so it's not going to do anything better. It may give you a little more, I don't know, flexibility in the case of going, well, I can listen to my music in my house versus my little speakers on my phone. Well, you can still hook up your phone to your speakers. So I just want to make a point. You don't need certain products that are coming off so quickly. And Spotify, the music industry leader, has decided that there's room for one more box to put in your household. And it's going to run off an Android foundation. So you'll be able to, you know, do the OK Google and then watch it sort of kick in and what would you like? Play my music. Yay, you could have did that easily with any other device. So just maybe hold off, folks. It's not, I really don't think many people are going to be too overwhelmed with excitement if they buy one of these things.
And the concern here is that it's the coolest thing right now, so everybody wants one. And
that's right.
So instead of actually, you know, Googling and saying, okay, what is the recipe to make Rice Krispie squares? Just say, Alexa, how do you make Rice Krispie squares? You know?
Yes.
You get Alexa with an attitude and says, you shouldn't be eating that stuff. So they don't even give you the recipe. But I mean, the other element to this that we've talked about in the past is every time you put something in there that talks to you, don't forget the fact that they can also listen to you.
All the time. It's constantly listening. And I think this is another factor. You know, we touched on it from a security point. Your smart TV's listening. Your Internet of Things are listening. Your Barbie doll, your teddy bear, your phone is listening. I mean, how many times I've even said by accident, not even saying the words okay, and then the word Google, and all of a sudden the whole thing lights up and says, how can I help you? I don't understand. So our devices are listening. You don't need another listening device sitting in your living room or your home and otherwise. So that's Adam's Tech Talk advice. Don't go wasting your money, folks.
And I get that. I'm not trying to be paranoid here and say, you know, that they're going to monitor you. And then
that's
somebody's going to say, well, who would listen to me? I'm just saying the capability is there.
Exactly,
which is
yes.
why, you know, you should cover up a little, you know, thing on your laptop. Okay?
That's right.
Bill Gates covers his up. Right? I mean, this is the guy that, you know, invented all this stuff, and he's even kind of worried about who may be watching or listening, as the case might be. And I'm not saying that every time it happens, but I mean, I had this conversation with a buddy of mine last week, and you know, he says, "Oh no, they don't do that." And I said, "Do you have a weather app on your phone?" He says, "Well, yeah, I want to know the weather."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, there's a tracking device on that. That's how, you know, you get the Hamilton weather, or if you go to Toronto, you get the Toronto weather."
That's right.
Because there's a locator on there. And I said, they know where you are.
Well, and there's actually...
Are you comfortable with that? And said, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I said, okay, then fine, no deal.
If you don't mind giving the world your information, you're okay. Yeah. But you know what? I mean, the new Android operating system, P, by the way, which is going to be the new one coming out, just to segue into that point, is they're going to be putting a lot more security restrictions on the new Android. They've codenamed it P. Maybe it's peanut butter, or they usually come up with a sugary treat for the name. That's going to be one of the key features in the new Android, is that you will have to give permission to everything and advise it before it will give full access to your microphone and your camera.
All right, let's talk about electronic skin. We did that a little while ago, but robots and how this is all tied together.
Well, yeah, now we've seen Band-Aids for humans. We can basically heal ourselves. We put a Band-Aid on and your skin heals. Well, there's actually a product that is going to be healing robot synthetic skin. And I know this sounds a little wild because, well, how many synthetic robots are out there basically walking the planet right now? Well, here's why.
More than you know.
More than you know. A lot of our medical products are actually being used by robotics. How do they know when a laser etches into a skin if it hits a nerve? How will they know the feeling or the sensation of pressure when a knife or an X-Acto happens to cut through the body or otherwise? Well, this is the product to help them heal their synthetic skin gives them the sense of feeling. And why that's important is that it will allow to the robotics or the injecting arms of whatever's in the OR to understand at what pressure do you put a needle in? Where do you stop? Because right now, I mean, your arm to my arm to all of our bodies are very much unique, but we all have a pain threshold. So this new product will actually help robots repair their skin and give them the sensation of pain, and think of it as a Band-Aid. So you know, it could not be very long in the future when we will have a synthetic robot, and when you punch it, will go, ow, and bleed, or I don't know, synthetically leak, whatever it is. But this is going to be pretty much the wave of the future. This exists today. And I think as we talk about medical science and helping us in our everyday life, this is actually pretty cool.
One other medical thing while we're still on the topic.
Yeah.
Google's come up with this new thing about actually detecting heart disease in a way that you might not have thought of.
Well, you know what? It's amazing. They say eyes are the window to the soul. Yeah. And Google has determined a way to use artificial intelligence that can diagnose your health problems through your retinal. And it's got an 80% accuracy with regards to ailments or heart attack or strokes that you may be potentially going to have. Google can predict it now. And simply by using a lens, looking through the retinal of your eye, and they will be able to determine with 80% accuracy, you're going to have a stroke. I mean, usually you hear that if I'm eating a big plate of poutine and some burritos or otherwise, and I always hear that all the time, you're going to have a stroke. Well, you know what? If Google looks at me and says it, I'm going to believe it, because they're going to be 80% right in this case. So we can expect to see a lot more of that in the near future.
What's going on with Google Maps?
Well, right now we can see that you could share with friends what's going on. We can talk to friends about where we are and, hey, I'm going to be late or otherwise. This one, I think we're getting a little crazy on the what we share thing, you know, but the most recent one is that you will be able to now share what your battery life is on your phone. Now, I don't know why that's so important that you would need that, but I guess it would make sense, because it would be like, hey, I'll see you at 5. Great. But I see your battery's only at 3%. I think it's one of those value added to remind your buddy to plug in your phone. Not that we don't get enough reminders, but Google Maps will now let you share your battery life with your friends. Yes.
Obviously, somebody asked for it and others delivered it.
That's right. Exactly.
Uber, we were talking about Airbnb has still got a lot of wrinkles to iron out. Uber is actually starting to progress. I mean, they're really starting to flourish.
You know what? This is a bit of an interesting situation with Uber. I mean, there's a lot of controversy with Uber. I think even in the city of Hamilton right now, we've been talking about, in every city for that matter. But Uber just got a little cheaper, and they're calling it Uber Express. Now, think about this, Bill. Right now, the reason we like Uber is you call on your phone, here's where I am, and some person will drive up in their car, pick you up, which is like a cab, and take you where you need to go. Well, Uber Express is now going to be available, and you will now be able to see where there is a carpool in motion, and you can walk to the destination. And while the Uber is driving and picking up others that are walking to the nearest or closest block, you can now save a few bucks. So now you can save up to 70% of your cost on Uber simply by walking to where Uber will be driving, which is kind of like, why don't you take the bus? So, I mean, it comes right down to it's almost the cost of bus fare, to be honest with you. It's the benefit is they're going to drive you around and pick up other people walking in their same direction. But Uber's got Uber Express. If you want to save a few more bucks and walk a little, then that's another solution for you.
I want to take credit for this next thing.
Okay, you may.
Because it was about a year or so ago that I had a discussion with you on this show.
Yep.
About dog poop.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have 2 dogs. God love them.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
But it's my job.
Yep.
Of course, it's my job to clean up the yard. Well, and this is a bad time of year.
Oh,
because
man, yes.
and the dog owners can all relate to this, because when it's winter and you let the little guys outside, you just figure, well, it's snowy. I'm not going up there.
Yeah.
But come springtime, when the snow melts like it has this week, boy, the yard looks awful.
You know,
it's a daunting task to go out there with a shovel and a bag and do your thing. Now there is a brand new product. I got to get me one of these.
This is a dog poop vacuum. Yes, and it literally looks like a little handle. Looks like a small suitcase, like a little carry-on bag.
Yeah.
And what you do is you walk out in the yard, put it on the ground, And when you turn it on, it creates a suction and will literally scoop in almost, you kind of roll it along the ground, and as you push it, the vacuum sucks up your doggy mess and compacts it into an environment that you can now easily, safely pick up the dog poop without touching it or getting your hands dirty in any way possible.
How does it dispose of it then? I mean, it's a little canister, I guess.
There's a little release area at the back that it actually captures it in a bag, just very similar to a bag vacuum.
Yeah.
It will capture it, and then you seal it. You pull a button, it seals it, and you pull the bag out and
put it in the garbage.
Throw it in the garbage. Yeah.
This is ingenious.
I see so many people with a bag from the grocery store or like a Ziploc bag, and they kind of put it over their hand, and then they scoop down, and then they wrap it.
They make bags for this now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You buy them, they're in a little roll, and you unroll them and you just pull them off one at a time.
Yeah.
Like you do with sandwich bags or something like that.
Yeah.
And you have to bend down,
scoop
pick
down.
it up, and it's not nice.
No.
It's not, and it's messy, and it's but we do it, okay? We do it. A lot of my neighbors don't, by the way.
Yeah.
That's another story. But we do.
Yeah.
But and then you've got to get rid of the bag. Okay, I'll put it out here, and I guess we'll collect them later on. This does everything.
Everything all in. The little dog poop vacuum is available. It's not cheap. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be probably close to $150.
Money well spent.
This is endorsed by Bill. So you know what? We're trying to get us. That's going to be our next sponsor to Hamilton Limo is dog poop.
I've already had my birthday. That was a week or two ago. But I mean, Father's Day coming up. I know what's going on. I know Rebecca and the girls are listening to this right now. So the vacuum pooper stupor. And I'd be happy with it. So there we go.
All right.
If you learn nothing else from the show today, know that this is here. This will make your life easier.
That's right. The one product.
And more fragrant.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, many dog lovers will definitely rejoice with this product.
So there, you can thank us later. We do this every Friday, 11:35. Tech Talk, brought to you by our good friends at Hamilton Limousine. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Same to you.